Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Orchard Overnight with your host, Tom Hanson here. Tonight we're going to be breaking down all the action from Week 2 last week, and we're going to be looking forward ahead into Week 3 this weekend. So let's jump into all the action right now. Let's start off the night with Michael. Michael came out Week 1 and was pretty savage. We went over that last week. Week 2, he's kept pretty consistent. He stayed pretty solid out there. Michael played pretty well on both sides of the ball this week. Michael on the defensive side of the ball had 2 interceptions, so a very solid defensive performance out there by Michael. One of them was tipped by Joey right into his hands. Great concentration, almost took it back for a pick 6. His second one was on a 4th down little Hail Mary throw from Thomas out there. Still a nice interception he caught, keeping both feet in on the sideline, setting up his team for shorter field position. So Michael definitely played well on the defensive side of the ball. He played well on the offensive side of the ball as well. He had 4 receiving touchdowns out there. One of them including looking like Des Bryant out there, a little corner fade over Harrison, a little comeback route that was laid up to him pretty nicely. He took advantage of out there. So Michael, very consistent again this week. 30 points he put up under his 33-point projection. So he did not hit his projection, but he still had a very solid week out there. I think it was a nice week, coming back from that first week. So didn't fall off too much, but still put up a good performance. Going into this week, Michael's projected 32 points. So I definitely think the way Michael's looked these first 2 weeks, he can definitely get 32 points. He's staying around that range right now. Possibly he can get more than that. I think this is a week where Michael can possibly get 40 points. So we'll see what happens with Michael this week. I like the way Michael's been playing so far this season. I think he's been playing very aggressive, like I said, on both sides of the ball, and it's definitely contributing to his team's success. So we'll see what he can contribute this week. Next on the list is the man we just talked about who was throwing him the ball half the time, Thomas. Thomas was out there. He had a pretty shaky start. Couple throws, looked slightly a bit out of his wide receiver's range. Could have been catchable, but definitely could have been a better throw as well. These were deflected off into the defender's hand. 2 early deflection interceptions from Thomas, and like we said, that other interception on a Hail Mary throw to Michael that was intercepted was his 3rd interception of the day. So definitely a shaky start for Thomas. He definitely got it together though after that, as he finished off his day with throwing 14 touchdowns out there. So definitely a very solid performance, putting up 48 points. So he definitely bounced back. And on the defensive side of the ball, he looked good again. Another week with a pick 6. So that's back-to-back weeks to open off the season that Thomas had a pick 6. So I like his defense early in the season so far. We'll see how long he can keep that going ahead, because it is a long season. But definitely like how he's looking on the defensive side of the ball early in the season. Considering how he looked in the preseason, defense definitely looked like a position that he needed to clean up. So I'm glad that he got it cleaned up. I think Thomas, he's been looking good these first 2 weeks. He's high up there in the standings, and I definitely think he can take advantage of that if he keeps playing how he's playing. This week, Thomas is projected 46 points. I definitely think the way he's been playing, he can hit 46. He beat his projection of 43 last week, of putting up 48 over 43. So 46 definitely should be around his range this week. So definitely think Thomas could have a good week this week. So we'll see if he can keep that consistency going ahead. Next on our list is Jack. Jack came out this week. Jack had one of the players that had the bounce back week that I really wanted to see. After having a great preseason, he had a very shaky regular season debut back in week 1 last week. But this past week in week 2, he definitely cleaned everything up. All of his catches and stuff, he made a lot of aggressive deep catches downfield that led him to get a 50-burger out there, beating his 33-point projection. So definitely, this is the performance that we were expecting to see back in week 1. We just got it a week later in week 2. Nothing that surprises me, because like I said, I had faith in Jack. I know he's a good player. I know he just had to get his head back on straight, like lots of players out here. They have an off week. Everybody has an off week. But Jack showed that he can clean it up, bounce back, didn't let it get too out of control. He's coming back out this weekend. He's going to try to keep climbing up the ladder, because this was definitely a big step back in the standings for him. Even though it's early in the season, it's always good to get off on the right foot early in the season, and I think that's what Jack's starting to do now. I think he's going to keep this going ahead. Like I said, a lot of aggressive catches deep, Great defense out there, a lot of deflections on the defensive side of the ball. So Jack looked very stern on both sides of the ball out there this week, and I think he's going to keep that going ahead into this week. This week, Jack is projected 42 points, so I definitely think after putting up that 50 burger last week, I definitely think he's going to be back on track. 42 should be no problem for him, so we'll see if Jack can put up 42 or more than that this week. Let's just hope he stays aggressive. Next on our list is JT. JT's another player that I like keeping an eye on this season, him being a rookie and new to this season. He started very strong this week. He used his number one weapon out there, which was a lot of people's number one weapon out there this week. Harrison, his first debut out there in the season in the Orchard Farms League. He used them up to all his potential right there. Started strong. Just a lot of early touchdown strikes to him and some other players as well that got him, at a good pace after the first two games. So I definitely like how JT started, considering, how we've been saying his performance has been up and down at QB. Definitely think he started out very strong. He converted over to wide receiver mostly the second 2 games, the second half of the day. So it definitely got a little quiet for him. Definitely unfortunate when he was all-time player, when he was all-time offense. He did not get a lot of opportunities. He actually got 0 points as all-time offense, which is very shocking. That was the first time in Orchard Farms League history the Orchard Football League history, that a player as offensive player only got 0 points. So that's unfortunate for him out there. I don't think he was given a lot of opportunities. Don't think that was really a lot on his plate. Wasn't really his fault. But I definitely think there are some upsides to his performance this week. And like we said last week, we just like to see those gradual steps by JT in this league going down the road. We would have liked to see him close off the last game of the day that went to overtime, the fourth game. It was overtime. His team got the ball. They put the ball in his hands at QB to see if he can get the job done, try to get over his projection and win the game. It was unfortunate. He couldn't capitalize off the drive that game. I think he missed the early throw on that first down to Thomas deep that could have set the tone, set the momentum on the drive. Definitely think that was a big cause to the not capitalizing on the drive, but we definitely will see more growth ahead. It's a learning experience for him, and I definitely think he has a lot of potential going ahead that we were just going over. A lot of upsides to him. This week, JT is projected 21 points. That's what he got last week, was 21 points under his 22-point projection. So he was almost right there on the money with his projection, just slightly below it. This week he's projected 21. So we'll see if JT can get out there. I think he can definitely get 21 this week if he keeps taking those gradual steps we were talking about. So we'll definitely see if he can keep progressing in this league going down the road. Next on our list we're going to talk about is the man we were talking about that he was using up early in the game, Harrison. Harrison, this was his first debut out there in the Orchard Football League, and it was one to remember out there. It's one that a lot of people are going to remember out there because Harrison is definitely, in a lot of people's mind, the fastest, if not one of the fastest in Orchard Football League history out there on the field. His speed is definitely insane. Can't be really compared to many others. We were saying you could maybe compare it to a player we had a long time ago, Austin. He had some speed, but Harrison, he might have him beat. He's got a new level of speed that a lot of players just could not catch. You have to stay tight on this dude, and if you let him get just the slightest bit of separation, he's just going to eat you alive across or up and down the field. Either way, he's just going to have you beat with this speed, So Harrison, his speed definitely gives him an advantage, with creating separation to catch the ball and just making plays after the catch, which he did this week. And this was his first start out there in the league, like I said. And his first start, he got his first fantasy player of the week this week, 60 points, which is insane. Probably one of the highest points to start out with. Starting out in his first debut out there ever as a player out there. So definitely hats off to him out there. We hope he comes out, makes this a consistent thing, sometimes coming out here, making it a little more interesting. I think a matchup with him and Garrett, the G-Man, the two-time champ, I think that could definitely be a matchup that a lot of people would be wanting to see, how it ends up, because, he's got pretty nice hands himself. I think the G-Man, like I said, I'm not gonna overhype Harrison over the G-Man yet, because the G-Man definitely has made a name for himself in this league. He's got great hands, but I think Harrison can definitely make a good run for himself in this league if he comes out more. So we'll see if he comes out again. He's projected 45 points this week. So if Harrison comes out 45 points, he put up 60 last week. I think just the dynamic player he is, I think he has potential to get a 50 burger every week if he's healthy. So we'll see if he comes out this week. 45 should be nothing for him if he comes out, and he's definitely gets opportunities thrown to him. So we'll see what Harrison could do down the road. Next on our list is a player that I'm excited to talk about, Al. Because Al, I felt like in week 1, we were talking about he missed a lot of opportunities. People did not give him a lot of opportunities that he needed to be given. And this is the week that he was given as many as he could, and he took advantage of all of them. And I mean all of them. Al bounced back this week. He had sick catches, sick route running, just made his way to the end zone almost every time he touched the ball. He had a sick catch off his head that was in like almost triple coverage in the end zone. Everybody was kind of jammed up. Nobody had their heads turned around. He was just looking back, and he just caught that thing. He had it on his head. It almost looked like the guy from the Giants back in that Super Bowl in 2007 when they played the Patriots, when the guy caught it off his head. That's what it reminded me of out there. So all the effort to Al, it all paid off this week. He made, like I said, great route running, a lot of good touchdown highlight reels this week for him that he got in a wide open space that was just dropped into him like some bread in a basket. So he definitely made his name out there this week and came back. He put up 42 points over his 22-point projection. So I know Al was happy to get all of his opportunities this week. And definitely, this is how I feel like his potential is. He is a 40-point player. He can make that. You know what I mean? And on a great day, I feel like he can make a 50 burger out here if he just, like I said, has those opportunities given to him. Defense, he looked pretty well out there too. Didn't give up much. I'm not sure if he had any interceptions out there. Don't think I saw any interceptions from Al out there, but definitely played great defense, as he did week 1. So great start to defense early in the season for Al. Al is projected 32 points this week. So after putting up 42 last week, I definitely think Al, if he stays on this right track, I mean, like I said, as long as the opportunities are there, he can take them. So 32. He's just got to be given those opportunities. He's got to be given 32 points worth of opportunities, and that man will take it. He doesn't have many off weeks, so I definitely have a lot of confidence and a lot of faith in him if he's given the ball. So we'll see if he's given the ball this week. Next on our list is Joey. Joey Badass. Joey came out week 1, definitely had a great start. Week 2, sorry to say, he did not have as many targets. He's like a reverse of what we were just talking about with Al. He had 20 points, still a pretty decent day for him. He was projected 25, not far off his projection. I know he would have liked to get one more touchdown out there. I think he was about to have a wide open touchdown. He got a little tripped up in the back of the end zone. That could have been the deciding factor to hitting his projection, but things happen sometimes out there. Like I said, Joey did not get the targets he wanted this week. Very low amount of targets. I think Joey only had 2 receiving touchdowns out there in this game and a few first downs. So I know Joey, the way he played week 1, he definitely wants to be used a little more than that. He has a lot of potential. He's a sneaky player out there. People definitely gotta use him. He's in the back pocket. They just gotta think people forget about him sometimes because he's one of the youngest players out there. But you can't overlook him because he definitely makes opportunities happen once they're given to him. So I like Joey out there. I hope he gets opportunities this week. I definitely think this could be a good turnaround week for him, just like it was for many other players like Al and Jack. I feel like week 3 is going to be a turning point for Joey out here and definitely get back on the track that he wants going down the road. So, like I said, Joey was 5 points under his projection, 20 under 25 this week. Joey is projected 23 points. So, like I said, I think it's going to be a bounce back week for Joey like it was for many. So, 23 points, put it down in the books. I think Joey takes that up. I think Joey puts up 30 this week. Put 30 on it. From Tom Hanson here, 30 on it. Next on our list is the players that we did not get to see last week, but hopefully, I haven't heard anything different. I haven't heard that they're out again this week, so I'm assuming they're in. The G-Man and AJ coming back this week, hopefully after being out last week. They were out of town. I'm pretty sure they're back in town this week, so I wouldn't see why they wouldn't come out. Let's start off with the G-Man. His week 1 performance was very solid out there. The G-Man, he put up 40 points. So this week, the G-Man is projected 38 points after missing 1 week. So I definitely think the G-Man getting back on his track as well, being a 2-time back-to-back champ, 38 points. That's pretty decent for him right there. So I feel like he shouldn't have a lot of trouble with that. The way he's been looking pretty crisp throwing the ball, he's always good at catching the ball. In my mind, he has the best hands out here, arguably. You can make an argue with Jack out here that they could be one of the best for the best hands out here. But I definitely think the G-Man's name is up there because he makes some spectacular catches. And I think that we're going to see some of them this week. So I definitely think he gets over 38. Shouldn't be a problem for him. Next player on our list is AJ. And I definitely think that AJ, the way he's looked back in these first 2 weeks, I think he could put up a good week as well this week. He's projected 22 points. His first week out here, AJ put up 24 points, so he's got 22 this week. I definitely think AJ, he's going to come out flying after missing a week. He's got a lot of energy. He's always excited to be out there, excited to make plays. Whether he's just excited for his team to just win. I remember him saying that once to me out there. I was like, oh, they're gonna get you some more opportunities out there. He's like, oh no, I'm just focused on winning out here. I just want my team to win. And that's one of the best signs you could see from a player out there is when it's not about me factor. You know what I mean? He's not a player that's all about himself. But when he does make the opportunities and they're given to him, he capitalizes on well. You gotta respect that from AJ. And I'm looking forward to seeing him out there again this week with that good attitude and good play from him. And I definitely am excited to see him down the road. 22-point projection this week. AJ, definitely think he beats that. Like I said, a lot of energy, a lot of charisma this week. Excited to see him out there. He should beat 22-point projection. And that is all we got for tonight on Orchard Overnight. I thank you guys for tuning in. Like I say every week, we're gonna try to get in the studio and get Orchard Fantasy Football live up soon. We just been having a lot going on with that, but we definitely we're gonna keep this going at least every week at the minimum, which is still fun. I'm glad you guys always tune in. Hope you guys have a good time listening to me break down all the stats and statistics. I always have a good time doing this with you guys. But like I said, that is all we got for tonight. Hopefully out there this weekend we don't gotta change fields again like we did last week. If you noticed in the highlight reel, we had to change fields out there. Kind of messed some players up early in the game, but we got to readjust it and definitely feel like we got most of it straightened out as good as we can. But hopefully this week we don't have a change in fields. We get back to the way we're used to playing. So hopefully it's a good week just like we had these past couple weeks, and hopefully it's a good season ahead. So like I said, appreciate you guys tuning in. Hope everybody has a great night, and I will see you guys next week. Peace out.